So this is the meeting house proper. All of these old meeting houses were laid out in two halves with a portable wall in between the two halves. And I don't really have the story, I don't think, quite accurate, because it's an antiquated custom and nobody really knows why these things happen. But apparently for some functions, the meeting house was divided into a women's half and a men's half. I believe it had to do with the meetings for business, where it was considered at the time, and we're talking early 19th century, 18th century, that men and women had different things to talk about that didn't necessarily cross over.
Can I ask you to take off your vest?
Sure.
It's causing a glare and it's distracting.
Excuse me, I wasn't thinking about that.
And then let's move away from the sun. Okay, go ahead.
So this is still a movable curtain. You could see that those partitions could rise, and that these two separate rooms could become one room.
Okay.
At the same time that the kitchen and bathroom additions was put on, this half of the old meeting house was modernized. In other words, the benches were removed. The risers are still there. All of the details are still here, but the benches have been removed. Sheetrock was put up. It was insulated a little better. The heating was improved. The electricity was improved. And so this half of the building now is an up-to-date meeting facility. Anything could occur here. It doesn't have to be a quicker meeting.
What are future plans for this facility?
There are no concrete future plans for this facility. This is a building in search of a mission. Ideally, we would love to have an active monthly meeting of Quakers who are large enough to sustain the building independently. There's always the option of renting space to an appropriate organization. It would have to meet certain zoning requirements, and you can't just put anything in here. It'd have to be some type of nonprofit, I guess, community service-oriented organization, but something like that. So that's what we're looking to do.
Now, you mentioned about 10 years ago an addition was put on. Now, even though the building is inactive, or the meeting was inactive, talk to me about the thoughts that went into putting an addition on if it's inactive. Is it with the vision of rejuvenating activity?
That's right. One could say it was an optimistic kind of build it and they will come kind of thing. But the realization is that when you have a building from 1812 that hasn't been updated a whole lot since then, you better have modern bathrooms, and you better have at least the ability to make coffee, and so if it's going to be useful to anybody these days, and so that's why those bathrooms were put in there.